Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast on FingerLakes1.tv and YouTube, recorded live on Monday evening, July 13th, 2015. I'm your host, Jim Sinicropi, joined alongside my co-host, the Big Easy, Bob LaPrade, and we'll have Rhett Ticconi back in studio for the next hour, where we'll recap the two-man scramble at Dutch Hollow that wrapped up in Owasco yesterday. We'll preview the season's third major, the Open Championship at St. Andrews. We've got Bobby's Pick of the Week, which will add some personalization to your bag. And we'll catch you up on the latest golf news, events, results, and more. But first, Bob, welcome back. How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself, Jim?
Great. Big weekend at Dutch Hollow, the two-man scramble,
Yes.
maybe one of the best tournaments of the season.
Yep, it's highlight of the season for myself.
And also back, as I mentioned tonight, we have Rhett Ticconi, always in for the majors, getting ready to do some prognostication.
Love the majors.
But you played Chambers Bay, the site of the U.S. Open, but did not play St. Andrews.
Not in person. On the Xbox, yes, EA Sports. But
Yep, I've played.
Tore it up too.
Played it on Lynx. I've played it on Jack Nicklaus Golden Tee. Golden Bear.
Golden Bear, yep.
I don't know about Golden Tee.
One of the easiest courses to score on in EA golf.
Yeah, wide open for video golf,
Yeah.
no
Blast
doubt.
it.
Yeah.
Blast it.
And you can hit those 400-yard drives.
80-foot putts. It's awesome.
So, now, Rhett, you didn't play at Dutch, so I'll turn my attention to the Big Easy over here. Second or third year that you played in the Dutch Hollow two-man?
No, this is like my fourth.
Oh, really? Man,
Yeah.
time flies.
Yep.
And how'd you guys do? You and your partner, Jason Peralt.
Yep, we did okay. We could have done a ton better. We finished third in our flight by match cards. We really could have putted better. I could have been more help to my partner. He hit a lot of great shots, but the putting just didn't happen. I mean, first day, 3 out of the par fours, we have 10 foot and inside for birdie, and that's hard to do.
There you guys are, third place, third flight, tied with another team from Seneca Falls, Dan Kernan, Matt Olmstead, and the match cards, and they got the nod for second. But, Bob, you did a little shopping. You got to do a little shopping, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Got myself a nice hat, some balls, and that was a good time.
And looking at the championship flight, you have Jeff Good and Jim Panic winning with a score of 122, which is pretty phenomenal. A
Yeah.
63-59 second day.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's a good scoring.
Unfortunately, my partner and I, Jeremy Hunt, shot a 65 first day. That put us in the championship flight with those guys, 2 shots back at 63. And when you're 2 shots behind and they shoot 59, it's over.
Yeah,
we
it's
actually
tough.
improved and shot a 64 second day. 2 best scores that my partner and I have ever shot. In that Saturday was the 65 was the best score we've ever shot. We shot 66, 67 before. And now we find ourselves in the championship flight. Now, I've been in the championship flight before with a different partner where I was more of a B player.
Yeah.
And the first time we've ever been in the championship flight. So I was happy that we came back second day and bested that with the 64. We really had a great weekend, Jeremy and I.
You didn't have a 57 in you?
No, we would have needed the 57
57
to
would
tie.
have been nice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We birdied 5 in a row on the front 9 over at Dutch. We birdied 1, then we really struggled for pars on 2 and 3. And it wasn't really looking like it was going to be that type of day where we were even going to be able to match that 65. But then once you know it, we birdied the par 3 fourth, and then we missed an eagle putt on the next par 5. So that's 2 in a row. We birdied the next par 3. And then we birdied the toughest hole handicap-wise on the course, hole 7. And then we birdied the par 5 eighth. So we birdied 5 in a row, and we're like, hey.
Rolling.
I mean, I was thinking we'll just birdie the rest and win this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then bogey on the par 3 ninth really took the wind out of the sails. Tough par 3s over there at Dutch. And a weird layout, too. The front 9 has 3 par 5s and 3 par 3s.
Yep.
So, only, 3 par 4s on the front 9. And then the back has 1 par 5, 2 par 3s, par 71.
Right.
So they do a great job over there with that
It's
tournament.
fantastic.
Great
It's
steak
fantastic.
dinner and just a lot of 96 teams I think they had.
Right.
And another nice thing they do for the championship flight is they putting a golf cart out with a scoreboard on it.
Right.
And so we were the first group off in the championship flight. So when we got to the 10th tee, we wrote in our score. And all the teams coming behind us write in their score so you can see. And then they move that cart from the 10th tee to the 14th tee, and you do it again. And then they move it from the 14th tee to the 17th tee.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you get a little scoreboard update.
Right.
I really think they should do that for every flight, to be honest with you,
yeah.
because it's kind of
that'd be
it's kind of cool. But that's just something special, I guess they do for the championship flight. And all the flights pay the same. And what did you do? Some shopping, Bob? What did you get over there?
I got a dozen balls, a nice hat, and we got a little cash money. Didn't hit anything on my Calcutta or parimutuel bets, but
You did a lot of parimutuel betting,
Yeah.
including $10 to win on my team.
Yep.
Nice.
I didn't even do that.
Why wouldn't you do
Hey,
that?
come on. You got to bet on yourself.
I did in the Calcutta, but I'm not a big fan of the parimutuel over there because sometimes you got to wait for them to send you the money, and
Well, they send it to you in the mail.
yeah, I know
They do a good job.
Yeah, they do a good job. But
At least you got the pro shop credit. Nothing like that.
hey, Rhett, guess who won closest to the pin first day on the first par 3 on the front?
I'm going to go with Jim Sinicropi.
That's right, 2 feet.
Nice.
Almost
great
had
shot.
almost had an ace. It was on the opposite side of the hole.
Yeah.
It must have just caught the lip. Tap in.
What would you get?
Well, here's the thing. I got 2 sleeves of Titleist NXTs.
Nice.
All right.
Well, you think that's nice. Wasn't really
Yeah.
too fond of it. I
What
gave
about
them
some-
to my partner.
Well, pro shop credit.
There was 192 players, and I hit closer to the pin than any of them. And congratulations!
Well-
Here's a couple sleeves of balls that you'll never
Here's
play.
a little something for the effort.
Right.
Uh,
Oh well. Like I said, I gave them to my partner. He was happy. He likes the harder cover ball.
You got bragging rights.
Yeah, goes a long way too.
Mhm.
I'll never forget
Especially
the year
as a
I
big
won
field.
closest to the pin at Dutch Hollow. Oh boy! So yeah, it was a great tournament. Also a great tournament coming up this weekend. I don't know if it can compare to the Dutch Hollow 2-man, but the Open Championship at St. Andrews kicks off on Thursday. TV will be 4 a.m. to 3 o'clock. Thursday and Friday, ESPN has the coverage, and then Saturday 7 a.m. to 2:30 on ESPN. Final round coverage on ESPN as well, which is odd that they wouldn't have that on ABC. 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Another tournament catering to the Pacific time zone.
It's going to be tough on the productivity Thursday. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
and you can stream this stuff at work on Watch ESPN,
Yeah.
the Watch ESPN app.
Mhm.
So you can watch it, which the full coverage will be before you go to work and while you're at work.
Gotta love the iPad.
Yep.
Yep.
I like to call St. Andrews the Augusta of Europe, and by that I mean not condition-wise or even similarity, but when you think of the best course in America, a lot of people think Augusta. It's the host of the first major. And when I think of the best, most recognizable course in Europe, I think of St. Andrews with all the history and, it is the original links course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably in the rest of the world, really. Of all the courses, if you think about it, that's the next one you go to after you leave the States.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It would be. I know some people that have been over there, made the trip, and I'd like to make the trip someday. But one thing about St. Andrews, they have 7 greens that accommodate 2 holes, so 7 double greens, and only 4 holes have their own green. That would be 1, 9, 17, and 18. All the rest share another pin on the opposite 9.
Wow.
Little fun fact on St. Andrews, and there's 112 bunkers on the course, and they each have a name, like Hell Bunker on number 14, which is 10 feet deep. It looks like a World War I trench. The famous Road Hole Bunker on number 17 is also very famous, and 17 might be the best known hole in golf. Off the tee, players have to aim at a corner of the Old Course Hotel because you can't see the flag. And then in addition to the road hole bunker ahead of the green, there's also a paved road and a wall behind the green. And definitely famous hole. A lot can happen on that 17th. And then also something new this year, 50 bunkers have been rebuilt, meaning that the players when they say rebuild the bunkers, sometimes that changes the slope and the size, and so that'll be something that the players are probably getting used to today, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
The road hole is one of those. They increased that by like 20 inches, the width of it, and they're saying the always good for a comment Ian Poulter called it insane. And
Really?
said that because they recontoured a little bit of the green as well to have a lot of the balls feed to the bunker. And Ogilvy called it disgusting or something like that, Jeff Ogilvy. So those two are pretty adamant against it. So you're going to hear some stuff on the broadcast, I'm sure, about a little bit of controversy, not probably to the Mount Chambers Bay suffered, but they're going to be talking about that,
Yeah, how much can you really criticize, St. Andrews? And St. Andrews is a course that's yielded all kinds of scoring, low scores and high scores depending on the weather, because if the wind blows and, it's a little rainy, it's a different type of a day. If it's calm, it's not that intimidating of a golf course.
Right.
But when the wind blows, there's so much room out there, nothing to block the wind.
Well, Tiger was saying that it's so green right now. He's never seen his ball. He was making ball marks.
Oh, wow.
He said he'd never made ball marks out there.
Huh.
So he's thinking it's going to be a lot different. Your approach, you're not going to. He's saying there's an interview with him, saying that not as much running the ball up as it usually is. You're going to have to carry some shots, and a lot of these bunkers, if it's windy, they come into play that they don't necessarily come into play when it's calm conditions. So it's an interesting place.
It sure is, and when you think of all the history and all the rounds, and it's there's just something special about it there over any other British Open venue. There's a lot of different courses in the rotation that are great courses, but when it's at St. Andrews, boy, it's just that's the ultimate, I think.
It's kind of like when you, every 5 years, right? They have it locked in every 5 years. You wish there was probably a couple in the United States, maybe if they're locked in Pebble Beach every 5 years for the U.S. Open or things like that. It's pretty cool that they do it that way. It's always going to be in the rota, so to speak.
Yep, it's coming. You don't have to wait for an announcement like you do with the USGA, where they're scheduling them, sometimes 12 years out.
Right.
Well, who do you guys like?
I was thinking about that this morning.
How many do we pick?
Well, we're going to get a DraftKings.com pool between the three of us going first, but right now, just for discussion purposes, Rory McIlroy out. Hurt himself playing soccer.
Yep.
Kind of disappointing, but at the same regard, if you're Jordan Spieth, who's won the first two majors, now all of a sudden you're like, maybe I can win this third. There's probably the other. He probably would have been the favorite even with Spieth playing so well this year.
You like seeing the big names that have won, they're winning recently too, or they're up there. Obviously the U.S. Open finish with DJ and Spieth, but Bubba Watson won the next week. Yeah, and the top guys are performing right now.
And if you look at the odds to win, they kind of reflect that. You got Jordan Spieth at 9-2, which is amazing. That's like Tiger odds when he was in his prime.
Right.
Dustin Johnson 12-1. Ricky Fowler, who won last weekend at the Scottish Open, at 16-1. Justin Rose at 18-1, despite never finished higher than fourth in a U.S. in an Open. His only major, the 2013 U.S. Open. Henrik Stenson coming in at 20-1, the same as Tiger 20-1, which I was blown away that Tiger would be 20-1 because that just doesn't make any sense.
Past performances.
Yeah, well he shot, what he shoots, 4 rounds in the 60s at the, not the Greenbrier, but whatever the.
Yeah, it was a Greenbrier.
Was it the Greenbrier?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, think about it. If you're a betting house, you put them up there. You put them 20.
People are going to bet them, right?
Yeah, you're going to make money on them.
Plus, if you put them too far down, then you're really you're hurting.
Yeah,
the book's hurting.
Well, and I think they adjust these by how people are betting too.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
It's hard to believe though. He's like higher odds than Adam Scott and
Oosthuizen
and
Bubba.
Yeah, exactly.
He's having, Tiger's just having such a bad year. And it's amazing to me that, a couple rounds in the 60s and a tie for 33rd finish at the Greenbrier is enough to say, oh, he's 20-1 at the Open. As far as Tiger's concerned, my prediction's the same, non-factor. Even if he's in position heading into Sunday, no way he closes. He's done.
A little street cred, I think, is getting him that 20-1.
Right.
Yep.
So, a couple other
Are we going to
notes.
make any picks?
We'll make our picks, but when we wrap up this conversation,
Okay.
Spieth is really on fire coming into this tournament with a final round 61 on Sunday and beating Tom Gillis in the second playoff hole at the TPC or Deere Run on Sunday at the John Deere Classic. His fourth victory of the season. And,
he's on fire.
Finished at 20 under, edging out Zach Young and Danny Lee, who's also pretty hot. Although Danny Lee, see, that's the thing. Tiger's 20-1. Danny Lee has won and come in tied for third in his last two tournaments, and he's 150-1.
No street cred.
I mean, I would put $5 down on Danny Lee.
There's a few guys, Kevin Keisner, and there's definitely Kuchar's 50-1.
Yeah, and he came in second at the Scottish.
Right.
Fowler had to birdie 3 out of 4 to put it away. It wasn't like he ran away with it. Kuchar's, I'm just going to put him on my list.
Make a little side note.
Yeah, a little side note there.
Then you have, like I say, Ricky Fowler birdie in 3 of his last 4 holes to overtake Kuchar at the Scottish Open by 1 shot Sunday. That's Fowler's second victory of the year. Everybody was high on Fowler after the Players' Championship, and then he kind of went in the tank and missed the cut at the Memorial, missed the cut at the U.S. Open. Appears to be peaking at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he just had a little hangover there,
Yeah, you get that big win, and but still without a major. That win was a big win, but Sergio also won the Players, and
right.
Everybody wants to count it as the 5th major. It's not a major.
No,
there's only 4.
Yep.
It's a nice notch in your belt, and you can feel pretty good about beating a great field, but it's not a major.
Definitely a great field, but you don't get you can't win the Grand Slam for winning the Players.
No.
So.
Speaking of the Grand Slam, Jordan Spieth just the 6th man to win the Masters and the U.S. Open in the same year, and he's heading a lineup expected to feature 79 of the top 80 players in the world rankings. That one missing, Rory McIlroy, injured himself in a pickup soccer mishap last weekend. Spieth had a gripping U.S. Open win following the Masters runaway. He looks to join Ben Hogan, who in 1953 was the only man to capture the season's 3 first majors. Tiger Woods in 2000 was the only other man to win 3 majors in a year. So Spieth wins either the U.S. Open or, if Spieth wins the British Open, he joins Ben Hogan as the only guy ever to win the first 3 majors of the year. If he should lose at the Open and win the PGA, then he joins the club that includes Ben Hogan, and Tiger Woods is the only player to win 3 majors in a year.
Is he this good, or is he just on a run? You think this guy's going to be Tiger-esque?
I think he's solid. I think he's mentally solid more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him. Maybe
he can stay in it.
Fun to watch.
You can tell when he's on the course, he stays in it mentally. I really think he's solid.
He was what, 3 back yesterday? I mean, he birdied. What did he make?
Yeah, he got off to a terrible start.
4 out of 5. He birdied coming in to tie up.
Yeah, I mean to tie and then go into the playoff and win. And it's not only that; it's just that he is so young right now. Yeah. He is younger. He's doing things younger than Tiger did them.
Right.
Yeah,
and just because we're trying to compare him to Tiger. At the end it'll be the majors. You think he'll end up, winning 14 or 15 majors?
Yeah, I mean,
or will he be the one that maybe tops Nicklaus?
No, it's great though. I know Rory's hurt, but Rory's got 4, Spieth's got 2. I mean, these guys could really have a rivalry.
Oh,
that's the
Tiger never had a rival.
Thing. True.
So these guys, they could be kind of taking majors away from each other.
Yeah.
But they could both end up with 9 or 10. Maybe more. It's great to watch, though. It's definitely.
I thought Tiger's rival was Y. Yang.
Yeah, well, at least at that last major that he was in contention. Right? Yeah, right.
So I think Spieth is every bit Tiger, and I think he's also a product of Tiger. When Tiger came about, and if you were a young player, you were like, "Holy crap, what am I doing? I can't do what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's all in history, and now these young players, watch that when they were kids, and I think that's kind of, they said to themselves, this is where the bar is now.
Yeah.
And, with all the technology and all the coaching and all the grooming, Spieth has been groomed, for this type of situation. And he seems to handle it well. He's got a great caddy, too,
Right.
Yeah.
which helps.
That definitely helps. They were saying, in that interview, Tiger was saying he did a clinic on Saturday when he got to St. Andrews with a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds from over there, and he just said he was amazed at how much better prepared the young kids that playing golf, they're athletes, their workout. They were asking him what his workout regimen was like and how he goes about, that part of the mental aspect, but also the physical, and it's not just going out and playing. There's a lot more involved in it, and Spieth's probably Spieth and Roy are the front end of that generation of people that are, I wouldn't say that nobody took it serious before. Obviously they did, but there was just playing golf. Now it's
you were like Craig Stadler, even Nicklaus was a little lumpy, out there.
Phil for a while was,
So
it definitely is going that way, and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you look at Jordan Spieth, and he leads the PGA Tour in scoring average. He leads the tour in both putting average and putts per round. If that's not an example of what this guy can do under pressure, then I don't know what is. If he plays a lot. He honors his commitment to playing the deer. If there's one thing that worries me a little bit about Spieth's chances this week is he probably got on the plane Sunday night and flew over there. And you got to adjust to the time change and the different style of golf.
I'm guessing they probably didn't sleep a lot on that plane.
No.
Coming off a win.
You had to be amped up.
Pumped up. And that plane, I've heard some stories about that plane. It's pretty fun ride, they say.
What was he riding on?
Oh, a bunch of those guys, the John Deere will, to guarantee some people coming into the tournament, fly them over there. So they're flying on like a 757, a bunch of them, and probably a 767, bigger plane. So
that's cool.
I'm sure they had a good time. He posted a picture today on Instagram from 2 years ago when he won the John Deere to get into the Open. That was his first win.
Yeah.
And they looked like they were having fun then. So I would imagine, winning it again, and a bunch of those guys flying over there. I imagine they've had a good time. So he probably didn't get a whole lot of sleep.
Right. Which might not be a bad thing.
No. What the heck? Just keep rolling.
So what about some other players? I am torn on who my pick to win is. I've been saying Spieth all along, and then he won the Deere, and even though that was so great to see, and you think that would give you confidence that he would win, it's really, you don't see that a lot. You don't see guys winning the week before, especially a tournament in the U.S. Now, Phil Mickelson won the Scottish Open like Fowler did, and the British Open the next week.
Right.
But I don't know, when he won that Deere, I started looking a little more towards Dustin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying the last, it's been like 10 years or more that since anyone who even played in the Deere won the British, let alone win the Deere and win the British. But the Scottish was a little different. There was
because you're just driving across, I don't know,
down the street,
geography too much in Europe, but you're in the same time zone, I think.
Right, yeah.
But I kind of like Dustin Johnson. I heard Colin Cowherd said something pretty interesting about when he was analyzing what's wrong with golf. Can Americans, the American sporting public, get behind Jordan Spieth as a phenomenon and bring all golfers appreciate Jordan Spieth and will watch Jordan Spieth, but what about the non-golfers? Like, what about my wife? Will she sit down next to me during the final round of the Open if Spieth is in contention? I don't think so. But people used to do that for Tiger. Will Spieth be able to bring in other casual golf fans or non-golfers, to watch? And I don't know if he has that type of personality. And I get what Colin Cowherd said was, you need a guy like Dustin Johnson. He's been in trouble. He's a physical freak. He looks different. He hits the ball farther than anybody else. He's going out with a celebrity, smoking hot, girlfriend, and just got back from rehab, and the same thing. John Daly was captured the American, and he was imperfect, and he was a big beer drinker, smoking cigarettes on the course. So that was just an interesting thing on Colin Cowherd's radio show today, talking about how Dustin Johnson would probably be better for golf than Jordan Spieth.
It'll be interesting to see, at the U.S. Open. I wonder, who was coming down the finish. You're picking DJ or you're picking Spieth. Who was everybody picking? Who did everybody want to win that?
Yeah,
I was rooting for DJ.
Were you?
Yeah. To be honest
Yeah.
with
See,
you.
I think I was rooting for Spieth, to be honest with you, and I don't know why.
I was leaning more towards Spieth myself.
It's not that I dislike Dustin Johnson.
I don't dislike him.
No.
It's just I think I was pulling for Spieth, but again, I'm a hardcore golfer. I play 3 times a week. I watch, Golf Channel every free moment I get. I'm not watching much else this time of year except golf 24/7, and so maybe I would appreciate Spieth a little more, where someone else wants a little bit more than just the golf and then the carrying themselves the way Spieth does. They want a little drama or excitement.
Yeah. Well, I got a soft spot for DJ because from the 2010 PGA Championship when he lost, he ended up. Did he go into the playoff or no? Keimer won it over Bubba, I think. But
I think he missed the playoff, after it was a 2-stroke penalty.
He needed a bogey to win, and he ended up with a double and missed
or
a bogey to get into the playoff. Yeah, I've liked his game, and he also had that terrible round at the U.S. Open.
2010, where he was leading. He thought he might run away with it.
He cost me a nice parlay, but
and what was it, 80 something he shot second day?
Yeah,
fourth round.
Yeah, he was leading. I had a ticket on him.
And then it was a 2010 PGA at Whistling Straits.
Yeah.
And then the 2011 British Open, he also put himself in position and didn't close. So 3 times. But, he ranks first in driving distance on the tour at 319 yards, and that's a huge advantage at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
So, I think Dustin Johnson is another one to look at. And the kind of pressure and spotlight's off him. I think if he gets into contention again the way he did at the U.S. Open, that then the pressure will be on. But as far as the first 2, even 3 rounds, I don't think there's much pressure on Dustin Johnson this year.
Well, there's going to be big ratings. 4:33 a.m. Spieth and DJ are playing together. So for 2 days at least, we get to watch both of them.
Well, I can tell you, will you be getting up early?
Oh yeah, always do.
Yeah, I think Doug Brown will be hopefully in with us next week to help us recap it. But I think he'll be getting up early too. I think a couple times he's even cooked breakfast for people that want to come over.
Yeah. Yep.
So
what's his address?
It's over there in Waterloo. He's got a pool and a pond.
Pondview, good for you.
So you got Dustin Johnson. What about some other contenders? I mentioned Justin Rose. The odds on Rose are 18-1, but he's never fared better than a tie for 4th, and that was back in 1998. Think about all the Open championships that he's played in, and that's, he's an Englishman. Couldn't get it done, and one major at the Open. He's the type of guy that you kind of has been picked to do well in majors every year now since the late 90s, and one win.
Brandt Snedeker, another one at 50-1. Some of these guys at 50-1.
Well, what do you guys think about Hideki Matsuyama?
At 30-1?
Yeah. Last time I checked, he was top 3 proximity from the hole.
Well, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get it close to the hole. So, what about Bubba Watson at 33-1?
Yeah, I think that's a little high. You throw $10 on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw a hundo on there.
Right, yeah, why not?
He is long, That's what we're talking about. Dustin Johnson having an advantage at St. Andrews because it's long, and Bubba Watson has won just 3 weeks ago.
Well, Phil
but
Mickelson
isn't that course? You can hit it too long there, right? You can go through the. Well, everything's kind of short there, right? So
where at St. Andrews?
It's just how the wind's playing.
Well, there's a couple of holes that the bigger hitters can potentially reach off the tee.
Right.
It's less penal for the big hitters because it's so wide open. If you go offline, you're not going to hit trees.
You could be hitting irons.
I just always thought some of the bunkers would be, for the guys that hit it long, the bunkers come in. Some of the bunkers that are down a ways come into play for those
If it's
guys.
windy, yeah, definitely. But if it's the way it's been, I don't know if they're calling for more rain or not. But if it's been the way it's been the last few days, they said it's
different course
playing into their hands. But still, Phil Mickelson, 33-1. Guy won the British Open 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'd put 10 on him.
I think part of the reason that this odds are so low on everybody else is that Jordan Spieth is 9-2.
Yeah,
I mean, if a lot of people are picking him and feel that confident, then I suppose everybody else's odds would be lower.
Well, if you're a bookmaker, why don't you take someone like Spieth, make him the big time favorite? You get a lot of money on him, and now the odds are in your favor as a bookmaker.
True.
It's also crazy that I look down here and I see a guy like Brandon Grace at 40-1. And then a guy like Zach Johnson at 80-1. I mean, to assume that Zach Johnson just doesn't play good at St. Andrews, because Zach Johnson is in the top 10 of every single tournament he plays, every single one.
Played all right yesterday.
He's always there.
I'm disappointed to see Bernd Weisberger at 70-1.
You think that, where is he?
Is that your pick for this week? Are you going with Bernd?
No.
Okay.
I'm just disappointed to see him there.
But again, he's 71. Danny Lee, first place, third place, last 2 weeks on the PGA Tour is 150-1. Are you kidding me? You want to talk about putting down $10 on somebody?
You're right. Yeah.
You win $1,500 on a $10 bet on Danny Lee.
Yeah. How about somebody? I mean, some of these. You got some big names that are playing well, but how about some of these big names that are just way off the charts? I mean, you got Hunter Mahan, you got J.B. Holmes, Lee Westwood, McDowell, all those guys 80-1 or more.
Yeah, especially Billy Horschel's 80-1, Jim Furyk 70-1. I mean, these guys can still bring it. I think if they played it 70 times, I think Jim Furyk would win it more than once, even at his age.
He'll do okay for sure. I mean, Donald's kind of fallen off a little bit though. This is the second major in a row he's had to qualify.
Right.
Yeah, he's certainly not top 5 in the world like he was 5 years ago.
I think he's spending a little too much time on his wine business.
Maybe.
Could be, but then, I'm looking here and I see Tommy Fleetwood at 66-1. Who are you going to put bet on? Tommy Fleetwood at 66-1 or, Graham McDowell at 80-1?
How do you walk away from some of those big names that have won big tournaments,
And Jimmy Walker, number 2 in FedEx points, 55-1. Again, he's never won a major. His MO is more consistency than breaking through and winning. But Patrick Reed at 50-1, he was like 15-1 at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And again, maybe we should look a little deeper and find that maybe someone like Patrick Reed just doesn't play good in the link style courses. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Chambers Bay was a link style course.
Bubba, though, was a shocking one to me. I mean, the guy, he can play. And he makes up his own shots, so he can pretty much play any course. 33-1. I'd definitely throw a 10 on him.
Well, looks like we're going to be doing a lot of gambling.
Money out there.
Getting away from the chances of some of these guys to win, another sidebar at this week's Open is that you got former champions Tom Watson and Nick Faldo saying goodbye to the old course. For Watson, it'll be his final Open championship ever, just a few years removed from when he made a run at Turnberry, was it?
Yeah.
He really had that thing won. We've talked about it before. 2 or 3 years ago,
right? 2, 3?
Like 3 years ago, maybe a little longer.
2011, something like that.
That would have been something.
And so, you got to ask yourself, can he make a run according to these odds? No, 750 to 1. But those odds probably weren't too much different when he made that run at Turnberry.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was 59 then.
I don't have him listed here, but Sir Nick Faldo's odds to win are like 1,250 to 1, and that's probably accurate because he hasn't played too much anymore.
Right.
But
he's a 2-rounder and into the booth.
So, emotions figured to run high when Watson and Faldo crossed the bridge on 18 for the final time. The 5-time champion Tom Watson will finish with 38 Open appearances, tying Jack Nicklaus and Sandy Hurd for number 2 all-time on the list of Open appearances.
He's fun to watch.
And so now, last thing before we take our picks, Tiger Woods. He won 2 of his 3 Opens at St. Andrews. hoping to recapture some of that magic from 2000 and 2005. And again, the only indication to think that he even has a slightest chance is that he played 3 rounds in the 60s at the Greenbrier, but who wasn't in the 60s at the Greenbrier, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we sat here at the Masters and the U.S. Open, and I think you guys gave him a little chance. I think, Rhett, you picked him as a dark horse at Chamber Bay. What about this week?
He was my dark horse, and I struggled to walk away from the guy. Just the past performances, not only overall but there, I can't give up on him. I'm a pretty big Tiger Woods fan, so I'm hoping. I think I'm going to keep him as maybe my second dark horse. Can I have two? Can I have two dark horses? Yeah, you can
have 2 dark horses, right. But when we make our official DraftKings.com team, we're going to see if you got your money where your mouth is on Tiger.
I did one today. I did put him on there.
You did put him on there, huh?
I put him in my 6.
Nice.
What, Tiger got a chance, Bob?
I don't think so. Unless, he seemed, when he was talking to the media about where he is in his game, it seemed like a little bit different tone than we've heard in the past. But, I got to say he's crying wolf again.
What did he say? He's like got a pattern? He likes his pattern? I don't even understand what this guy's talking about anymore.
He does say some weird stuff.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's got what he thinks. It just seemed a little bit different tone and a little bit way. He seemed like he was convincing himself a little bit better than he was. He seemed like he was confident about what he was saying this time compared to others. So, I don't know. We might see a different Tiger this time.
We might. But here's what I think. Best case scenario for Tiger is he comes out and he shoots some good scores. He puts himself in the mix. When he wakes up on Sunday morning, no matter where he is in that leaderboard, chances are he won't be leading. He's going to look to his left and see Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth to the right. And he's going to see a whole slew of other great players, and he's going to know that he's not going to win. He's going to know he's not good enough.
I can't see him not winning another major. I don't think he's going to get the record anymore, but I just can't see him not getting it.
How many major winners over the age of 40 have there even been in the last 40 years? You got Nicklaus winning the Masters.
Mickelson's won a few.
VJ won a major after 40?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So how many has Phil won though after 40? Because he's 46 now, right? I mean, he won
the Masters. Open and the the PGA. Was it the PGA or the Masters?
Well, he won the Masters, and when was the last Masters he won? 2010.
Well, he won 2 Masters, right?
He's won 3 Masters.
3?
Yeah. Right, or is it 2?
I can't remember.
No, I think he's won 3 Masters.
Yeah, 3. But how many have been since he's been 40? I think he's won 3 of his. Does he have 5? Maybe 3 of his 5 since he's been 40.
Perhaps.
So.
I don't know. I just think there's a different tone from Tiger this week talking to the media than I've heard before. If I found a nickel right now, I'm not putting it on him.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't have put it on Phil 2 years ago either, right? So I mean, you got to think he can catch lightning in a bottle one of these times.
Yeah, anything can happen,
well, here's the thing: Tiger catches lightning in a bottle. I think he'll build on it.
Well,
I don't think it's
until it becomes too much for him, and he says to himself, "You know what? I can't do this on the back nine," and he starts. He just drops off on Sunday.
I'll start putting money on him if he builds momentum, especially if he wins a major, because then he knows how to handle that confidence at that point.
Right.
3 rounds in the 60 at the Greenbrier. You know who else had 3 rounds in the 60 at the Greenbrier? Danny Willett. And about 40 other golfers. I'm not impressed.
Danny Willett's on his way.
Well, he is, but Tiger's kind of on the other way.
On his way where?
You got if Tiger was in contention at the Greenbrier, and even if he lost, but he wasn't. He fell right off. He didn't put himself. He hasn't been in the mix to win a tournament in some time.
Yeah,
not even in the mix.
2 years. Since he won 5 2 years ago, but that's been a different story.
I still think there were some positive things that came out of the Greenbrier that he wasn't doing before that he is doing now, like making putts. And he didn't have that,
He's not really making that many putts, though. That's what separated him from the field.
You got to look at his performance from before on putts. He was making putts that he wasn't making last year or even 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, bogey-free round on Sunday, right?
Yep. So, I mean, he might be building on something. And
he might be, but I think that if I saw him in the mix a few times on Sunday, late on Sunday, even if he didn't win, I might then say, okay, I think that he is going to break through. But until he puts himself in that position,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go from not being in there in over a year to all of a sudden being
2
in the mix in
weeks.
a major and
2
be
weeks.
able to handle
3
it.
weeks in a 3-week span. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call. You never know. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, how awesome would it be to see him and Spieth going at it on Sunday?
that would be great.
Yeah.
Or DJ or
Yeah, get him in
two,
there.
3 groups coming down to the end.
Well, if you
With
want
all
to get
those
me up
big
at
names.
3 o'clock in the morning, that'll be it right
Yeah.
there.
So, Bob, who's your pick? Who's going to win?
Do I get one?
One pick. One pick and one dark horse.
Well, you know what? I think it would be easy for me to take Spieth. I like him. I'd like to see him do well, but my pick is going to be Henrik Stenson.
You're picking Henrik Stenson over Spieth and Johnson.
Yes.
Okay.
That's going to be my pick. And then my dark horse would be Hideki.
Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mind those picks. That's pretty bold. Rhett, what do you got?
I think I'm going to go with Matt Kuchar.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the way he's playing. He's been solid of late, and I like his odds. I like his chances. Well, I definitely like his odds.
And then what about a dark horse?
Can I have like 3 dark horses?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
I got one that you guys you may think I'm crazy, but Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Oh,
And
my
then-
Yeah, I
God.
don't
He
mind
always
that.
shows up for
That is a
majors.
dark horse.
Yes, he does. Brant Snedeker, and I got to put Tiger on the list. I just have to.
There you go.
Okay.
There's a bunch of good guys that you can't really consider dark horses, but those guys I like. It's kind of
Well,
out there.
I'm going. Oh, man. See, I was all Jordan Spieth until he won at the Deer, and it's odd that makes me not want to pick him. But I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to go Jordan Spieth, but a real big part of me wants to go with Dustin Johnson. But I'm going to stick with the hot hand, and hopefully he can have a shot at a Grand Slam when it comes to the PGA in August. Can you imagine? So that's one reason to root for this guy.
Absolutely.
Dark horse, I wouldn't really. It's tough to consider him a dark horse, but 150 to 1 odds. I'm going with Danny Lee. This
Nice.
kid has played great.
You're
He's
on
on
this
a
guy.
roll.
He has played great the past couple weeks.
He knows how to smile the whole round, that's for sure.
And you know who my second dark horse is going to be? It's going to be Jason Duffner, because you know what? I think it's time that he shackle out. He probably got hopefully new girlfriend or something.
He and Tiger are playing together today.
Yeah, they
Practice
played
round.
today.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I guess that squashes the rumors.
I wonder if that was like pre-planned. That's crazy, really.
Well, that creates more rumors
Yeah,
as far
right.
as I'm concerned. but
How about that? How
I'm
about that
not
tea
ready
time
to
though?
comment on it.
How about that pairing? Duffner, Daly, and Jimenez. That
is a good one.
isn't that a good one?
Poor Duffner.
Very
He's got
interesting
a lot
group.
of characters in there with him.
Yeah,
The only reason I picked Duffner is, this guy's won a major, right?
true.
PGA at Oak Hill.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about Daly and
Jimenez.
Jimenez. Neither of them are going to warm up.
no, they're just going straight there first.
Imagine
Yeah.
if Daly,
I
that's
mean-
the thing. I think Daly's got as good a chance as Tiger.
I mean, he did win it. What is it? 20 years ago. This
right?
20 years ago at the old course. That was when this is the 20th anniversary of John Daly
Well,
beating
hey.
Constantino Rocca.
An amazing chipping by Rocca.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Daly pulls it out with all the nerves he had.
Well, you guys, we better move along here on the show. Coming up here already at the 45-minute mark almost. Subscribe and like to the show. Subscribe and like the show on our YouTube channel. Click the red button below if you're watching on YouTube right now, or give us a little thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. We're also on iTunes, Stitcher.com, and we're on the FingerLakes1.com app, which is free at the Android or Apple Store. All of these links, our latest episodes, and complete archives are online at fingerlakes1.tv/golfpod. And with that, Bob, it's time for your pick of the week. All right, Bob, what do you got for us this week?
Well, this week we got Club Crown by Vibe that can be found at clubcrownbyvibe.com, all one word. And what it is Brett, do you have a white driver or a white club or a club that you got a sky mark on, or you just,
I got a couple
maybe hit
sky
a rock,
marks. My hybrids.
This is one of
Couple
these
sky
places you can take your club, send it to these guys, and they have many, many different patterns you can pick from, and they'll put that pattern on your club. They do have a few do-it-yourself kind of patterns, But for the most part,
You're going to want to send it in.
yeah, for the most part, you want to send it in to get the a really good job done on it. So they've got all kinds of different things from just regular solid colors, matte
Flags.
or
Like
yeah.
Mario Clemens, who came in 4th place at the PGA Latino American Chile Open.
Yes.
That's their guy.
Wearing his
Yeah.
flag proudly.
He's one of the guys.
Ooh,
That's
the
good. You can get
carbon
the
fibers
carbonized. Yeah,
look. That's hot
yeah.
look.
So you can like for example, I've got a white Adams 3-wood that I particularly don't like because it gets grass stained, and so I wouldn't mind sending it in and get like a flat black on it, or maybe a little bit of a logo.
SFCC logo on it, maybe?
Sure, why not? You can do that.
Yeah.
You can send them your logo and they'll put it on there for you.
You select your order, you print a prepaid shipping label, you send it in via UPS. They install it same day they get it, and then they ship it back to you. So you're going to be without your club for what, 4 days?
Yeah, but it's a great thing to do. Let's say you can't live without your club. Do it in the fall at the end of the season. Send it in, get it done, and then you're done. And you know what's nice is if your club had it, comes apart from your shaft, if you got the screw on it, just send the club. Just send the head.
I think the little SU logo on Jimmy's driver would be a good choice.
There you go.
I wouldn't mind that. Now, I haven't seen. I didn't browse that website to see if they even have the Syracuse. I saw a lot of SEC schools on there.
Yeah,
but,
they have a lot of SEC on there.
So that is clubcrownbyvive.com. Clubcrownbyvive.com. That's Bobby's pick of the week.
Just a note, I haven't done it yet, but I plan on doing it this fall with my 3-wood.
Okay. We'll let you know how it goes on the podcast. Some local golf news. McQuaid graduate Trevor Sluman shot a 5-under par 67 Saturday afternoon to win the Rochester District Golf Association Championship with a 12-under par total at Midvale Country Club in Penfield. Sluman ran away with the tournament with his final 2 rounds. He was the only player to shoot under par for the tournament, and he was 12 under. With the victory, Sluman, who's the nephew of professional golfer and Rochester native Jeff Sluman, becomes the 8th RDGA winner to successfully defend his title from the previous year. His uncle Jeff never did that, only winning the tournament once back in 1977.
How old is he, Jim?
Doesn't say. I didn't get that information. But 12 under, not bad.
Yeah.
Shooting when nobody else in the tournament of the best golfers in Rochester area or even under par. I mean, that's like,
yeah,
you can't touch Trevor Sluman.
No.
Central New York PGA update. This week they were in Thendara at the National Car Rental Scratch Pro-Am. I did not get a time to accumulate the results that were posted online. If you do want to check any results from the Central New York PGA, go to cny.pga.com. Next Monday it'll be the Stroke Play Championship. That's a major for them. That's at Mark Twain Golf Course in Elmira. Hey, speaking of majors, we have the Scratch Series at Seneca Falls Country Club. The Summer 2-Man has been rescheduled after being rained out initially in June to Sunday, July 26th at 1 o'clock. If you want to get in at $65. Big cash payout, big skins game, 2-man scramble, SenecaFallsCountryClub.com for more information, or give the Pro Shop a call at 315-568-5202 to reserve your spot. This week's hole-in-ones. Chris Bentley used a pitching wedge to ace the 144-yard 9th hole at Shadow Lake. David Wallace had a hole-in-one at the 130-yard 13th at Millstone using a pitching wedge. And John George aced the 145-yard 4th hole at Green Lake State Golf Course using a 6-iron. Send us your hole-in-ones to contact@fingerlakes1.com. Subject line FLX Golfer. We'll read them on the air. Light week for hole-in-ones this week. But that brings us next to our Zen Tip of the Week.
Zen Tip of the Week.
Okay, time for the old Zen Tip of the Week. Last week's Zen Tip was don't sabotage your good rounds. You know, when you're playing good, don't talk yourself out of it. Just ride it out. And I just wanted to revisit that one more time because two things happened to me at Dutch Hollow. The first was we were in the championship flight, right? And we, after shooting the best score we ever had, and the way that tournament at Dutch works is it's flighted after the first day. So generally, if you don't play well first day, you come back and you say, geez, if we can just play good today, we'll probably win our flight and take home some sweet pro shop credit and whatnot, Calcutta money.
Yeah.
But in our case, here we are in the championship flight, and it would have been, I didn't know what to think about the second day. I didn't know what we were going to do. But I just tried to think positively, and I thought, geez, we did shoot that 65, but we made a bogey. We left a little bit out there, and really the only thing we can do is go out there and take it one shot at a time. And I really have a lot of confidence in my partner and I as a two-man scramble team. And so, we went out there, and we struggled early. We really struggled early. We had to save a par in the third hole from 60 yards out, up and down from 60 yards just to save a par. And but then we caught fire. 5 straight birdies, and again at that point, why would it have to stop? But you almost subconsciously put the brakes on a little bit and say to yourself, this just can't keep up.
Right.
But there's no reason why it can't. So what's the tip, I suppose? It's just one shot at a time when you're in these situations. The shot in front of you is all that matters. The consequences don't matter. What's going to happen 4 holes later doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The next shot, it's all you ever need to think about. And when I'm playing my best golf, or when I'm in a zone, I guess, I really am able to focus on the next shot completely. I don't think about what if or what's next. I just, at Seneca Falls Country Club, when you step up on the 16th tee, it should really be, you shouldn't have thought about that tee shot on 16 until you put it out on 15. Then, when you're walking to 16, focus on the tee shot. And a lot of people, I think, myself included in the past, have been on the 14th hole, having a decent round and saying, okay, 14th hole, that's a birdie hole, I can birdie that one. 15's another easy one. And so if I can just maybe birdie one of these two, and then I get to 16, and, if I can just only get a bogey there or maybe par it, that's what you do not want to do. You know what you want to do when you're on 14? You want to think about the next shot you have to hit.
I do it all the time. I got to stop.
Yeah, it's everybody does it. It's and especially when you're having a good round, because now you're starting to add up the card before you.
Right. Yeah.
And
if I get this, I can shoot a 38.
And none of it matters.
Right.
The only thing that matters is your next shot. So why even dwell on the future? You're going to get there eventually. Think about it then.
Yep.
Easier said than done, but it's just a continuation, I guess, of last week's Zen tip, because I was experiencing a little bit at Dutch Hollow this weekend, being in unfamiliar territory, having a good round going, and I guess it's different when you have a partner, because they're saying things in your ear.
Yeah.
After our 5 birdie streak, I was really worried about our next shot, which was a tee shot on maybe the toughest par 3 out there, on the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And I was worried about it. I wanted to get one on the green, and my partner was kind of, I'm not even saying what he was doing was wrong, but he was really confident that we wouldn't even have to worry about that. And I said, let's just hit a shot on the green.
Right.
And we didn't. We still had a fairly easy chip, but we couldn't convert, and we made a bogey. And so after birdieing 5 in a row, we took a step back, and boy, if that doesn't take the wind out of your sails, even though it shouldn't, it's just one hole.
Yeah.
Could go right on birdie 5 more in a row.
Yeah, you had plenty of holes left.
Right.
So, that's my Zen tip of the week, and that gets us about here towards the end of the show for this week, fellas. Are we all playing golf on Wednesday night at Seneca Falls?
I think so.
Nice.
Dog days of summer are upon us.
I love it. I hate heat and humidity, but if I'm golfing, I don't care at all.
Exactly.
I don't care how hot it is if I'm on the golf course.
Let's just play golf.
Towel up, right?
Yeah.
Any hot weather tips you guys have for our listeners at home?
Water. Lots of water.
Hydrate.
Water, damp towel.
Got to bring some almonds. You know me.
Get the protein going in the form of chocolate-coated nuts.
You have to bring snacks on a golf course. That would be my Zen tip of the week.
Yep.
So, I was watching Jerry Seinfeld comedians driving in the car getting coffee. You know that one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, I can't remember what his guess was, but he was walking, the guy said, "Here, why don't you drink some water?" He goes, "Here, hydrate." And Jerry was like, "I hate that when people say that." He goes, "When I'm thirsty, I'll drink. When I'm thirsty, I'll drink."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making a mistake if he's on the golf course.
Right.
Right.
Some water.
He wasn't golfing. They
There
were
you go.
driving some car, 1955 souped up vehicle. So, next week, I hope you'll be back with us. Rhett will be back. I think Doug Brown will be sitting in on the couch over there, and we'll recap the U.S. Open at St. Andrews. The one thing about the Open, final thoughts, before we get out of here, is that anything can happen at the Open. Who's Oosthuizen one year, John Claude, what's his name from France, who blew it on the 18th hole.
Van de Velde.
Yeah,
Van de Velde. It seems like the Open Championship produces more like unknowns, or maybe it's
Yeah.
just unknown to us in America, but just guys come out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, who won it that year? It was that Van de Velde blew it. It was
Swarzel? No, he was the Masters,
No.
right?
No, it was I forget now. It was a while ago. but-
Yeah, I can't
Yeah, you
remember
just-
who won it.
you never
we
know.
remember him,
Sergio,
though.
Yeah. Sergio blew that putt on 18 the one year when
Yep.
Patty won it, Harrington won it.
Yep.
Lots of stuff, lots of crazy things happen at the Open.
So there's a good chance that all the guys we just mentioned aren't going to win it, and it's going to be, it could be somebody. How about Lee Westwood? How about that guy win a major? This might be one of his last chances.
It's hard to believe he hasn't won.
He's coming in at 80-1. And Charlie Hoffman, 125-1. He was he was a hot earlier this year on the PGA Tour. Seemed like he was in contention every week.
Yep.
So, make your picks. Get in those pools. Get as many pools as you can. Get up early.
Make some
Set the
pancakes,
coffee maker. Make some
eggs.
pancakes or eggs, bacon.
Mhm.
And prepare to rise and shine for the U.S. or the British Open. And, of course, on Sunday morning, we'll be playing golf. Are you in Sunday, Rhett, too?
Probably not.
So, that's the other thing. You're in, Sunday morning around the course when this is going on. Hopefully you get done and we catch the last, hour of the coverage, or hour and a half.
Yeah, they're predicting it to end at 1:30 on Sunday. So
I'll be watching the whole thing. Keep you posted. I'll text you updates.
Text us updates, right. All right, guys. Well, Rhett, thanks again for,
Thanks for having me on.
coming on in. We'll see you next week. And, Bob, as usual, it's always been a pleasure. Had a great time with you at Dutch Hollow this weekend.
Yep. Good times.
And want to just remind everybody one more time to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Stitcher.com, iTunes, or you can download the FingerLakes1.com app on the Android or Apple Store. Email us, send us your photos, videos, links, events you want us to promote. Contact at FingerLakes1.com, subject line FLX Golfer. And, of course, we're online at fingerlakes1.tv/golfpod. So we hope you had a great time hanging out with us for episode 31 of the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast. We'll be live again next Monday night at 9 p.m. Until then, hit 'em long, not often.
Support great local content like this by becoming a patron of FingerLakes1.com. Visit patreon.com/FL1.
FingerLakes1.com